everyone, I'm Gurleen. I hope you're doing well. In today's video, we'll be discussing the trade plan for Monday, that is March 23rd, 2023, for Nifty and Bank Nifty and a few select stocks which must be on your watch list. So yet another week has passed and Nifty and Bank Nifty have posted a negative weekly closing, as you can see here on my screen. We saw major breakdowns throughout the week in Bank Nifty below the level of 39,400 and in Nifty below the level of 17,000. But if you take a look over here on the weekly chart, you can see that the indices have closed above those marks. Also, do let me know how was this trading week for you in the comments down below. Now, from the last 2 days, we've seen some respite in both the indices. So the questions that pop up are, is the up move over or is there more to come? Will the bulls be snapped by the bears or will they continue to march ahead? So I'll be answering these questions shortly. So stay tuned till the end of the video to find out, and don't forget to hit that like and subscribe button so that you never miss an update. So here you can see on the weekly chart that the slow grind has been continuing from the top of December 2022. And here you can see that the index has also been moving in a parallel channel, which we have been referring to since the last videos. So here you can see that this channel is very much valid as Nifty 50 has closed above the same and has bounced off from the lows of about 16,800. If we move to the daily chart, here you can see that yesterday we were discussing signs of indecision with some positive clues from the RSI. And today as well, the index has closed in the form of a doji candlestick with a long lower wick, which simply means that the index recovered towards the end of the day. So here also you can see that how beautifully the index has respected this falling channel and has started to move on the upside. So the structure has been suggesting a pullback, as we discussed in yesterday's video as well, and the index has closed above the previous day high of 17,062, which is depicting some strength. Now it would be crucial for Nifty to actually cross the 17,200 mark on the upside and hold on to the low of 16,848 for the bulls to have an upper hand. So you can consider the level of 17,200 as the immediate resistance on the chart, and once again on the lower side keep the levels of 16,800 and 16,650 as the marked support levels on your chart, which might be useful in the near term if the index takes a nosedive. Coming to the 15-minute chart, the harmonic pattern was triggered over here with a gap up opening in the index, but the index gave up all the gains and tested patience before it finally started the leg on the upside. So here you can see that Nifty has closed above the mark of 17,046 and a target of 17,170 to 17,200 is what I'll be looking from here. Now let's say that Nifty plays along with this setup and tests the levels of 17,170 to 17,200. Then one possibility is that we can expect some cool off in the index towards these averages that are at 17,034 to 17,046, considering that this is a harmonic potential reversal zone, and once the index surpasses the level of 17,200, we can even expect an extended pullback towards the levels of 17,345 to 17,440, which can be better explained through an hourly chart. So here you can see that this can be a probable pattern which might play in Nifty only above the level of 17,145. So here if we see an hourly closing above this pivot of 17,145, then we can expect that this pullback might extend towards the levels of 17,345 to 17,440, but this is just a possibility and will only come into play if this pattern gets triggered above the level of 17,145. So let's see how this setup folds out and then we shall review it. Keep in mind that the invalidation level for this particular pattern is 16,958, and the pattern that we discussed in the 15 minutes, the invalidation level for that pattern is 16,910. So here for your reference, I have written down the support and resistance levels for Nifty on the chart. So support is placed at 16,848 and 16,650, and the resistance is placed at 17,200 and 17,345. Now let's move to Bank Nifty. So here on the daily chart of Bank Nifty, you can see a positive daily close in the form of a hammer candlestick with a long lower wick, which means that the bulls came in to save the day. Now today Bank Nifty has also tested this pivot B at the level of 39,600, which I outlined in yesterday's video also. also taking hints from the RSI. Now Bank Nifty has faced supply pressure from the same, so can we see an extension of this pullback on the upside? Well, yes, chances are that if Bank Nifty keeps on holding on to the low of 38,613, then we can expect a trajectory towards the higher side. Now do remember that we are yet to decide the nature of this pullback on the upside and will not really be ruling out the possibility of these two patterns outlined on the daily time frame. Let's take a look at the 15-minute time frame. So here on the 15-minute time frame, you can see that Bank Nifty has entered into the wide potential reversal zone of 39,635 to 39,765 as we discussed in yesterday's video. Now one possibility is that Bank Nifty cools off from here toward the moving averages at 39,204 to 39,248. Now you might ask that is that it? Is the pullback over? Well, maybe not, as we have another harmonic pattern in line. So let's take a look at the hourly chart where you can see that Bank Nifty has already closed above this pivot at 39,597 and a minor cool off from here cannot be ruled off in accordance with the 15-minute time frame. Now as long as Bank Nifty continues to move higher and sustains above the level of 39,597, then we can expect a trajectory towards the level of 40,267, which is also in line with the resistance that we discussed yesterday at 40,142, followed by 40,718, provided that Bank Nifty keeps on holding on to this pivot of 39,597. Do remember that the invalidation level for this particular pattern is at 38,926. Now, for your reference, here I have written the support and resistance levels for Bank Nifty, wherein the support is at 39,222 and 38,760. So here for your reference, I have written the support and resistance levels for Bank Nifty, wherein the support is at 39,222 and 38,760, and the resistance is at 39,765 and 40,268. Now let's come to stocks, starting with Reliance, which we also discussed yesterday. Here you can see that in today's trading session, Reliance has traded within the range of yesterday's candlestick, making it an inside bar setup. So now the momentum on either side will only come into play if it breaks either the high of 2254 or the low of 2202. Here also, like we discussed yesterday, the maximum possible downside that I would be considering for now is the level of 2187, and we can see some positive shift in the trend in Reliance towards 2287 to 2313, and to add on to it, one can even take an additional confirmation of Reliance breaking above this high of 2254 for the higher targets. Now let's talk about HDFC Bank. So we've been tracking HDFC Bank for quite some time, and as I discussed in one of the videos, that it is placed right above the demand zone, and even if it cracks to the downside, these two levels at 1521 and 1472 is what I'll be looking at on the chart. But in line with Bank Nifty, even HDFC Bank is quite stable and has started a pullback on the upside, and I am expecting HDFC Bank to test the averages at 1596 to 1608 in the upcoming trading sessions. If we take a look at ICICI Bank as well, as we discussed in the weekly session, that strong support in ICICI Bank can be seen at the levels of 805 and 777, and here you can see that ICICI Bank has picked up from around the levels of 805, and notice these long lower wicks on the upside, which are suggesting that demand might be picking up. Now ICICI Bank also looks quite stable for testing the moving averages at the levels of 845 to 854. Now coming to SunPharma, which again we've been discussing for over a week. Now SunPharma is defending the pivot at 951.95 quite strongly, and it is placed right above the same. So the update over here is quite simple, that we'll be watching SunPharma for an upside towards 980 to 9. So the update here is quite simple, that we'll be watching SunPharma for the levels of about 980 to 1000 on the upside, and one can now adjust the risk accordingly that SunPharma has started moving in our favor. Let's also talk about the investor favorite ITC from a near-term perspective. So here you can see that ITC is trading within a range from the levels of 368 to 394, and it might continue to move back and forth in the range before decisively breaking out. Now if you look at the weekly chart of ITC, after having broken out of this particular high at 367, now it is trading right above the same, and it looks like the forces of demand and supply are in complete balance, and ITC can continue to hold above this level of 367 or 368, and things would only turn south if it breaks below this particular particular level of 367 to 368, and then it can test the levels of about 350. But till the time it's above the same, it's on the safe side. So do let me know, what do you have on your watch list and what's your take on the markets. And on that note, it's Gurleen signing off. Until we meet again, have a good time.